Hello chess lovers, I have an interesting game for you played by Magnus Carlsen against Anatoly Karpov. The game was played in 2008 at Tal Memorial Blitz tournament. At that time, Carlsen was 17 years old and his rating was higher, 27.75, and Karpov's rating was 26.51. Carlsen started with d4 and knight f6 by Karpov, c4, e6, knight f3 and b6. Karpov goes for Queen's Indian defense, g3. This is the main move against Queen's Indian. Bishop a6, the pawn on c4 is hanging, and b3, which is somehow weakening the dark squares, and now black bishop jumps on b4 square, giving a check. Bishop d2, of course you won't play knight d2 because you will step into a famous trap. After bishop c3, rook b1, black can play bishop b7 with the idea of bishop e4 or capture on f3, and if you won't allow the doubling of pawns on f file, for example if you play bishop g2, then black can play bishop e4 and you will lose your rook. That's why after bishop b4 check we see bishop d2, bishop e7, knight c3, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5, e4. White is establishing a strong center, but in the cost of losing some tempos. Here comes bishop takes f1, king takes f1, knight f6, bishop f4, black castles kingside, and white places his king on g2 square. Bishop b4 and knight b5, attacking the pawn on c7, a6, knight takes c7 and rook a7. Now black will try to exchange the rook with two pieces. a3, bishop e7, and instead of protecting the knight on c7 by playing queen c2, Carlsen played d5. Now black could easily equalize the position by capturing on c7. If d6, then bishop takes d6. If queen takes d6, then rook d7 with equal chances. But instead, after d5, Karpov played an aggressive move. Knight takes e4. Here comes d takes e6. And another aggressive move by Karpov. g5. Look at this. Knight d5. Well, a better move was capturing on e7 with a check. If rook takes f7, then queen d8 check. If bishop takes d8, then knight e6, g takes f4, knight takes d8. And this is an endgame where white has an extra pawn. But instead, after g5, we see knight d5, which allows black to gain some advantage. Here comes g takes f4, rook e1, and knight f6. This is already a bad move which gives white a huge advantage. A better move was playing f5, strengthening the knight on e4 square and moving away the pawn. If knight takes f4, then knight c6. Black has a piece against two pawns, and black's position is of course preferable, though black king right now is exposed. But instead, after rook e1, we see knight f6, and now Karpov's position is starting to collapse. Here comes e takes f7 check, king takes f7. Of course, you can't capture on f7 with the rook because after knight takes e7 check, the queen is hanging. That's why after e takes f7 check, we see king takes f7, knight g5 check, and king e8. Well, if king g8, then white can simply capture on e7. If rook takes e7, then queen takes d8. If rook takes d8, then rook takes e7. Or after queen takes d8, if rook takes e1, then first white will capture on f8 with a check, and then on e1, this is going to be winning for white. That's why after knight g5 check, Karpov played king e8, but again, this is too dangerous. Black will definitely lose. Look at this king on e8 square. And now this black king will become an easy target for white pieces. Here comes knight takes f6 check, rook takes f6, and there it goes, queen h5 check, king d7, rook g6 could prolong the game, but we see king d7, which allows rook d1 check, rook d6, rook takes d6 check, bishop takes d6, queen f7 check, bishop e7. Here comes rook d1 check and Karpov resigned. Black is also losing the queen. If king c8, simply rook takes d8, it's over. This is an easy win for white. In several positions we saw that Anatoly Karpov was trying to sharpen the game, but it was young Magnus Carlsen who managed to gain profit from all that chaos and managed to win the game. If you liked this game, don't forget to give the thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. More games are coming. Good luck.